Hi, welcome to the UB Library's Zotero video series. This is the third video in the series, Finding and Saving Items in Zotero. My name is Allie Wood, and I'm one of the engineering librarians here at UB. In this video, I'll cover various ways you can get items into your Zotero library. If you haven't downloaded the Zotero desktop app and browser connector yet, please check out the Setting Up Zotero video first. Zotero provides several different ways to add items to your desktop library. You can manually add items by filling in the citation info yourself. This is best for items without a web or digital presence. You can drag and drop PDFs already saved to your computer. This is useful if you've already done some research and now need to get the papers into Zotero. You can add items via identifier, like a DOI, ISBN, or PubMed ID. Or you can add with the browser extension. And this is the most common method and what I usually use. It allows you to add items as you find them online with one click. So now we'll take a look at each of those options in action. First, I'm going to open up my Zotero desktop library. Zotero always needs to be running if you are adding items to your library. I'm going to open up my invasive species collection, since this is where I want the new items to go. So to add an item manually, let me make this bigger, click on the little icon up here that looks like a page with a plus sign. This will show you all the different types of items that you can add to Zotero. So you see there's lots of options here. Let's add a presentation. Now I have a new blank item in my collection, and I need to fill in the metadata over here in this right side pane. Zotero will eventually use this information to make my citation later on, so I want to make sure it's as accurate and complete as possible. But you'll see they sometimes provide many fields here. You don't have to fill them all in, just fill in as much as you can. So you can easily just click on each field and add the information you need to. And so on. I would keep filling this in with all the information that I had. Okay, you can also add items via drag and drop. So if you already have some PDFs from some research you've already been doing, you can quickly add them this way. So I'm going to open up my File Explorer. And now I just need to drag these items into my Zotero library. So I'll select them all and then drag them over here. Sometimes takes a second, but they should now populate into my library. Okay, it's grabbing the PDFs and creating items for each of them. Okay, you can see it grab them all, can hit close, and now they're all in my library. And I can tell from this little icon over here that it also brought over that attached PDF. So I could double click on one of these and it would open up the PDF now in my Zotero PDF reader, which is very convenient. So you can also add items by identifier, like a DOI or an ISBN. This works great if you already have an article in mind. Let's open one up. Let's say I've got this article and I want to add it to my Zotero library. I just need to find the DOI, which is this link up here. There we go. Copy it. Come back to my Zotero library. Click on this little magic wand icon. Paste that in and press enter. And it's going to create an item for me and grab all of that metadata over here on the right side that, again, I will be needing to create my citations later on. Now let's take a look at that Zotero browser extension. In my opinion, this is the best way to add things to Zotero, especially if you're actively gathering items for your research. So we downloaded the browser extension in the first video in the series. If you haven't done that already, I suggest going back and watching that video. So I'm going to demonstrate using this tool in OneSearch, which is the library's catalog, but it will work in almost every library database and even with non-database items like YouTube videos, news articles, or websites. So I'm going to do a search like normal. I'll search for invasive round goby, hit search, and I'll get some results back. Now, let's say I wanted to add this first article to my library. I'm going to click on the title, and this will open the record page for the article. But if I scroll down, I'll see that the full text isn't actually here. This is just information about the article. Now, I could add it to Zotero at this point, but it's not a guarantee that I will get the full text PDF if I do that. So I usually recommend waiting until you're actually on the article page. So to get there, I'm going to go to this View Online section and just select one of the options. Go with this one. And now that I'm actually on the full text of the article, which if I scroll down, I can see, yes, the full text is here. Now I'm going to go ahead and add it to Zotero. And I'm going to do that using my little browser connector up here in the upper right-hand corner of my screen. Right now, it looks like a little white file or a little white piece of paper. And this is what it looks like when you're on a normal journal article. This image will change depending on what you're looking at. So if you are on a YouTube video, for example, it will look like a little camera. If you are on a conference paper, it's that same little white paper with two people in front of it. So that image will change depending on what Zotero thinks you're looking at. But at this point, I'm going to go ahead and click this button. And there's going to get this pop-up, which will tell me which folder it's going to go into. It's going to go into the one I had highlighted, so invasive species. And it's going to tell me all the stuff it grabbed. I can press enter to make that go away. And now if I go back to my Zotero library, open that up, I can see that the article is right here, it's highlighted, and that it grabbed the PDF for me, and that it has all of this metadata over here in the right pane. Now, with all of these options for getting things into Zotero, it's very important to double check this metadata to make sure that Zotero grabbed the right information. Zotero does a pretty good job getting the correct information over here, but it's not perfect. It's only as good as where it's getting the information from. Some common issues I see are that the page numbers come over wrong. So I would want to double check this one just to make sure this is truly how the page numbers should be represented. Sometimes the author's names come over all in caps, or maybe there's an issue with some italics in the title, things like that. So it's very easy to change these. You can just click on them and edit just like we did when we were filling in our own item. Okay, let's go back to our slides. So those are all the different ways you can get things into Zotero. But Zotero isn't always perfect. I think it's a great tool, but it's not 100% accurate all the time. It's not always successful. So if you are having issues with the browser connector, I recommend first closing Zotero, refreshing the web page that you're trying to use the browser connector on, and then reopening Zotero and trying again. If that still doesn't work, sometimes different journal publishers don't really play nice with Zotero, they're not compatible. You can always download the article PDF yourself and then just drag it into Zotero like I demonstrated earlier. Zotero also has lots of active user forums and documentation online that you can access if you are having other issues. Of course, you can always reach out to me. Okay, so that's all for this video. Please check out the rest of the videos in the series. If you have questions, like I said, feel free to contact me or visit the Zotero Basics Guide, which is available through the UB Libraries website. Thank you.